And yes, they'll come, hopefully. Maybe. We'll see. People love to sing and they love to dance, but to hear Bhagavatam. Also, it could be a reflection of myself if I'm not transmitting the Bhagavatam nicely. So, no problem though. All right. So we are, where are we? We are on text 8 of chapter 12. Now they just did, they were talking about Yudhishthir, how wonderful of a devotee Yudhishthir is. And then this was to help glorify Parakit, because that's the original subject matter. Who is Emperor Parakit? How did the Bhagavatam start? Why did he sit there? What happened? And they wanted to know how he survived the Brahmastra of Ashvatthama. There was a targeted, like a mantra, heat-seeking weapon, especially for him. How did he escape this? And so, it will be explained here. So, the last verse was, O son of Brigu, Shaunaka. When the child Parakit, the great fighter, was in the womb of his mother Uttara, and was suffering from the burning heat of the Brahmastra thrown by Ashvatthama, he could observe the Supreme Lord coming to him. So right when he was in the midst of getting burned, the Supreme Lord came to him, and this is what he did. Angushta matram amalam Spodat parata molinam Apivya darshanam shamam Tadid vasa samachutam Angushta, by the measure of a thumb. Matram, only. Amalam, transcendental. Sfodat, blazing. Purdata, gold. Molinam, helmet. Apivya, very beautiful. Darshanam, to look at. Shamam, blackish. Tadit, lightning. Vasasam, clothing. Achutam, the infallible, the Lord. Translation: He, the Lord, was only thumb high, but he was all transcendental. He had a very beautiful, blackish, infallible body, and he wore a dress of lightning yellow and a helmet of blazing gold, and thus he was seen by the child. So, this is, we were talking about yesterday, this is the speciality of the Vedic understanding of God in comparison to any other religious system. Is actually there is a description of who God is, what he looks like, what he does, what to meditate on, not just the impersonal features of God. He is the forces of nature, he is the mountains, he is beautiful like this, but actually you can understand what type of beauty he has, and he gives you a personal understanding of God, which is unique and rare and very nice, actually. So, so you're kind of going from just being part of the total, you could say, God's creation, to getting into his personal posse. You're being invited into the personal posse. When you try and understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead in the personal way, many people are not attracted to that. And then no problem. You know, they have the mountains and the trees and the taste of water and the sun and the moon and the universe, and no problem. But personal association, that's only for those who confidentially would like to have that relationship. So that's our prerogative. So let's do that. Because we're still waiting on a few of them to come on in. Why don't we do these prayers? If you want, you can scroll if you'd like to see the prayers, or you know them, then no problem.
I know some of them, but not all. Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Shantam Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Tadis Sarvadankita Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Uttapada Kalamam Shri Guru Vaishnavasya Shri Rupam Sagadantam Saganam Anantam Sadhana Bhavanebhyo Vaishnavyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare
Studying Bhagavatam. Parthas, you've made it. You look so handsome with 3 strings of tulsi on you, by the way. This is very nice. I'm very happy to see. So, all right. We are now learning about the Lord's personal form. Actually, this form, only thumb high, this is actually supposed to be a description of the Paramatma. I don't know if you've heard of this before, the Paramatma, the Super Soul. If everyone, the yogis, they find in deep meditation the form of the Lord within, this is the same description of the Lord here. So Emperor Parakit, while he is in the fetal stage, he gets to actually have like a personal darshan with the Paramatma. But the Lord appears to him in this form to save him from this weapon of Ashvatthama. So, let's read. Srimad Dirgha Chatur... Meghna, you're not going to eat? You packed? Okay, as long as you're happy. Srimad Dirgha Chatur Bahum Tapta Kanchana Kundalam Kshata Jaksham Gadapanim Atmana Sarvatodisham Padi Brahmantamul Kabham Brahmayantam Gadamuhu Srimad, enriched, Dirgha, prolonged, Chatubahum, four-handed, Taptakanchana, molten gold, Kundalam, earrings, Kshataja Aksham, eyes with the redness of blood, Gadapanim, hand with a club, Atmana, own, Sarvata, all, Disham, around, Paribrahmantam, loitering, Ulkabham, like shooting stars, Brahmayantam, encircling, Gadam, the club, Muhu, constantly. Translation: the Lord was enriched with 4 hands, earrings of molten gold, and eyes blood red with fury. As he loitered about, his club constantly encircled him like a shooting star. So he looked like he was twirling his club to be like a shooting star. So it is said, Prabhupada is saying, it is said in the Brahma Samhita, chapter 5, that the Supreme Lord Govinda, by his one plenary portion, enters into the halo of the universe and distributes himself as Paramatma, or the Super Soul, not only within the heart of every living being, but also within every atom of the material elements. Thus the Lord is all-pervading by his inconceivable potency, and thus he entered the womb of Uttara to save his beloved devotee Maharaj Parakit. In the Bhagavad Gita 9:31, the Lord assured everyone that his devotees are never to be vanquished. No one can kill a devotee of the Lord because he is protected by the Lord, and no one can save a person whom the Lord desires to kill. The Lord is all-powerful, and therefore he can both save and kill as he likes. He became visible to his devotee Maharaj Parakit, even in that awkward position, in the womb of his mother. In a shape just suitable for his vision, the Lord can become bigger than thousands of universes and can become smaller than an atom at the same time. Merciful as he is, he becomes just suitable to the vision of the limited living being. He is unlimited. He is not limited by any measurement of our calculation. He can become bigger than what we can think of, and he can become smaller than what we can conceive. But in all circumstances, he is the same all-powerful Lord. There is no difference between the thumb-like Vishnu in the womb of Uttara and the full-fledged Narayan in the Vaikuntha Dham, the kingdom of Godhead. He accepts the form of Archa Vigraha, the worshipable deity, just to accept service from his different incapable devotees. Prabhupada's also alluding there's none different to the Lord on the form of the altar as well. But we sometimes forget that, like we're running through the house and like, oh, see you later, Lord, but like that. But by the mercy of the Archa Vigraha, the form of the Lord in material elements, the devotees who are in the material world can easily approach the Lord, although he is not conceivable by the material senses. The Archa Vigraha is therefore an all-spiritual form of the Lord to be perceived by the material devotees. Such an Archa Vigraha of the Lord is never to be considered material. There is no difference between matter and spirit for the Lord, although there is a gulf of difference between the two in the case of the conditioned living being. For the Lord there is nothing but spiritual existence, and similarly there is nothing except spiritual existence for the pure devotee of the Lord in his intimate relation with the Lord. So a couple things there that are striking. One, the Lord has an all-spiritual existence. We have an all-spiritual existence, but one of the perversions of spirit is called matter. So we are existing, perceiving perversions of spirit, which is matter. And unfortunately, we can't see pure spirit with our perverted senses because we have material senses, material eyes to conceive, material ears, and so on. So the Archa Vigraha is coming just for that. The Lord is appearing and giving a system by which you can come to me, you can perceive me, but you have to train. So here's my material form. So the deity form is there. And there's, in the 11th canto of the Bhagavatam, there's a whole chapter in the Uddhav Gita on deity worship, how to establish Archa Vigraha, how to worship. And actually, ISKCON and Gaudiya Math, they follow these prescriptions as to how they install their temples and so on. We have not formally done the Pran Pratishtha ceremony here, which one actually should do, to invite the deity. And actually you do that through inviting a highly qualified saintly person, and they actually, from their heart, there will be like a copper wire that will be tied around their heart, and from their heart they will manifest the super soul into the material form of the deity. So there's a way that actually this is done. So anyhow, maybe you can join. Actually, when our Guru Maharaj, he's built this temple in Madhya Pradesh, he had a big festival, and part of the festival was the Pran Pratishtha ceremony. Some of you met Gopal Hari the other day, right? So Gopal Hari, his Guru Maharaj was Gopal Krishna Maharaj. He's a very big disciple of Srila Prabhupada in India and for preaching throughout India. He actually did the Pran Pratishtha ceremony for our Guru Maharaj with the help of many other devotees. So anyway, just so you know some of these things. Without Pran Pratishtha, no temple will be exist in India actually. If you are in the temple, then you have to do that ceremony. That's right. Otherwise it is not, Yes, it's not it's not as empowered. I mean, we've... Yes. So this Pran Pratishtha ceremony is very important. We have not done here for a few reasons yet, because we don't really have a nice standard as of yet. We're trying. We're doing something. But over time, that's one of my goals, is to do the Pran Pratishtha. But the Lord, we've been told by senior devotees, the Lord will still come. He's also coming through your intentions and things like this. But yes, it's even much better if you can actually do Pran Pratishtha. So anyway, text 10. Astra Tejas Vagadaya Niharam Iva Gopati Vidamantam Sanikarshe Paryaikshataka Ityaso. Astra Teja, radiation of the Brahmastra. Swagadaya, by means of his own club. Niharam, drops of dew. Eva, like. Gopati, the sun. Vidamantam, the act of vanishing. Sanikarshe, nearby. Paryakshata, observing. Kaha, who. Itiyaso, this body. The Lord was thus engaged in vanquishing the radiation of the Brahmastra, just as the sun evaporates a drop of dew. He was observed by the child who thought about who he was. So this was Parikit's fetal experience, that he got to see the Lord appear and neutralize the Brahmastra. Viduya tarame yatma Bhagavan dharma gubibhu Mishato dashama sasya Tatraivantar dadhe hari. Viduya, having completely washed off. Tat, that. Amayatma, the all-pervading supersoul. Bhagavan, the personality of Godhead. Dharma Gup, the protector of righteousness. Vibhu, the supreme. Mishata, while observing. Dashama Sasya, of one who is dressed by all directions. Tatra Eva, then and there. Anta, out of sight. Dadhe, became. Hari, the Lord. Translation: while thus being observed by the child, the Supreme Lord Personality of God, the Supersoul of everyone, and the protector of the righteous, who stretches in all directions and is unlimited by time and space, disappeared at once. Purport: Child Parikit was not observing a living being who is limited by time and space. There is a gulf of difference between the Lord and the individual living being. The Lord is mentioned herein as the supreme living being, unlimited by space and time, by time and space. Every living being is limited by time and space. Even though a living being is qualitatively one with the Lord, quantitatively there is a great difference between the supreme soul and the common individual soul. We were talking about that last night, right? The Lord being infinite and we are being infinitesimal. So we are subject to be overwhelmed by Maya, the Lord's energy. He is not subject because he's so great, Maya cannot touch him. But because we're so infinitesimal, we can be overwhelmed. This is very important. We're talking about why to associate with devotees and devotional consciousness and energy. So, even though a living being is qualitatively one with the Lord, quantitatively there's a great difference between the Supreme Soul and the common individual soul. In the Bhagavad Gita, both the living beings and the Supreme Being are said to be all-pervading. Yena sarvam idam tatam. Yet there is a difference between these two kinds of all-pervasiveness. A common living being or soul can be all-pervading within his own limited body. So within our body, we are given the jurisdiction to have the consciousness all-pervade. The soul is infinitesimal. It's so unimaginably small. But if you just pinch the tip of your pinky, you can try it, you feel that your consciousness has traveled there. Even though the body has really nothing to do with you, within this body, the soul is completely pervasive. It can feel and it can understand anything happening within the body. But the Lord is like that with all bodies, the total creation. The Lord has this all-pervasiveness. But our soul, even though infinitesimal, 1/10,000th the tip of a hair, that's actually how big we are. That's, some of us, we build big muscles in this world and things like this, right? Working out, yes, I'm getting big, like this. But actually, the soul is very small. You're not getting big. Just maybe the body is getting big. And you're getting a little bit more pervasiveness over a little bigger of a body. But that's all that's happening. And then also that it will be given up at some point too. So this is the nature of the difference between us and the Lord. He is all-pervasive to every single body. Every part of creation, the Lord is all-pervasive. He can feel disturbance anywhere in all of material creation, and he can feel all kinds of pleasure everywhere in all kinds of spiritual creation. Completely different. Craig, Hare Krishna. I'm very happy to see you. So this is the difference. In the Bhagavad Gita, both the living beings and the Supreme Being are said to be all-pervading. Oh, I said that. Yet there's a difference between these two kinds of all-pervasiveness. But the Supreme Living Being is all-pervading in all space and all time. A common living being cannot extend its influence over another common living being by its all-pervasiveness. But the Supreme Supersoul, the personality of Godhead, is unlimitedly able to exert his influence over all places and all times and over all living beings. So this is the difference. We think we can get kind of powerful in this world. but then all of a sudden someone gets in our way. Why? Because they're all pervasive over their own situation, in their own body. And then so you clash, and then we have quarrel in the material world, especially in Kali Yuga. You cannot control the free will of others, even though many people try to. That's why many of the leaders, they have their whole little private summits where how can we control the masses of the people to do what we want, like this. But you can't actually do it. But the Lord actually, He can come in within the heart. He can bring knowledge of what He wants us to know, and He can give forgetfulness of what He wants us to forget. I remember so many times in my life that things happened and unraveled in such a way, and how could I have been bewildered? How did I get bewildered like that in this circumstance? Even when I was buying the tickets for India this year, and I was flipping through things, and I just somehow got bewildered and didn't check the baggage. And I just how could that have happened? Well, because the Lord wanted it to happen. The Lord, He creates, there's the most quoted verse of Prabhupada's Bhagavad Gita is 15:15 of the Bhagavad Gita, of Bhagavad Gita. And it's how the Lord, He gives knowledge and He gives forgetfulness. He'll make you forget if He wants you to learn a certain lesson. And He'll make you remember something if He's gracing you to also learn another lesson. So we want to be on the side of knowing things. But, He'll also make us forget if we need to forget something that's perfect for some chastisement, He'll make us forget perfectly. And it's happened to me many times. And so maybe you guys can also remember a few times where it's happened to you.
Well, as you get older, it's automatic. Forgetfulness becomes more and more frequent.
Yes. So now, as you get older, the Lord, He gets a little older in the body. He gets a little bit more severe if you don't learn your lessons. You had a whole life to learn so many lessons, but then now if the lessons don't get learned, He's a little bit more severe, and the circumstances get more troubling. But you also have the best opportunity. The older body has the best opportunity to really surrender and deeply immerse themselves in God. So it's a good trade. It's a good deal to get old. But we have to take the deal. So anyway, I don't want to get too far off. Can anyone remember the exact sentence we were on?
Exert His influence over all places at all times, over all living beings.
Okay. And because He is all pervasive, unlimited by time and space, He can appear even within the womb of the mother of child Parakit. He is mentioned herein as the protector of the righteous. Anyone who is a surrendered soul unto the Supreme is righteous, and he is specifically protected by the Lord in all circumstances. The Lord is the indirect protector of the unrighteous also, for He rectifies their sins through His external potency. This is what we were talking about. He will perfectly distribute justice. Life is not unfair. If something happens in life, it's not, oh my God, it's his fault or her fault, or she did that or he did this. No, this is the Lord's judgment, and you must accept. Anyone who is, a little surrendered to the Lord, you must accept whatever the Lord has done. With this terrorist group here, did this is all just by the distribution of karma, and the Lord, He's actually leading everybody deeper on the spiritual path. Even if they have to go through millions upon millions of lifetimes of birth and death, which we've actually done already. Every lifetime has been good and unique for us to make some spiritual advancement. And we haven't made that much advancement yet because this is all we've made it to. But the exact advancement that you have now, this is where we're continuing from, and we should keep going. Because in the next life, we'll just have to continue from this lesson. You don't get to cheat and skip grades and things like that. You have to fully go through the whole course lesson of the material world, and whether you whether you do it in one lifetime or 40, 50, a million lifetimes, it's up to you, but you have to go through the whole course lesson. So we're trying to go through the course lesson. Prabhupada is giving us a one lifetime crash course. That sounds wonderful. You can do it in one lifetime. Actually, in the Bhagavatam, if it's fully understood, it can be done in one moment. Crash course, boom, right back to Godhead. But there's a lot of things that must be surrendered. So anyway, it's helpful if you go through the whole Parakit had the 7-day crash course. That's what the Srimad Bhagavatam is. So it's recommended go through this crash course of how to extricate yourself from the material world and how to forever enjoy in the spiritual world. But there's many lessons that have to be learned. But anyhow, the Lord, if you sincerely seek Him, He may arrange by His mercy. So that's our best bet. We can't force it upon the Lord. You'll see that this happened with Narada already in the Bhagavatam, right? Narada got a glimpse of the Lord and then he disappeared. Didn't matter how skilled of a meditator Narada was, he couldn't see Him again. You cannot conquer the Lord with your own abilities. You cannot conquer the Lord with your own endeavors, your skill, or anything. You can only conquer the Lord with your sincerity of heart, with your love, with your bhakti. And this is bhajan. So we're trying to cultivate. It's not like, all right, how many mantras I chanted today, how many things like that. What is the quality of the heart in the mantras? Now, by repeatedly doing this process over and over and putting yourself in a position to make an endeavor for the Lord, this actually will churn the quality of the heart. But these endeavors aren't actually what actually makes us achieve the Lord. But by the quality of Uttara begging for Krishna to save her son, the Lord says, oh, this is very good. I will come in immediately. Boom, He neutralizes the Brahmastra. Where did I leave off, Ben? He rectifies their sins through His external potency. The Lord is mentioned here as one who is dressed in the 10 directions. This means dressed with garments on 10 sides up and down. He is present everywhere and can appear and disappear at His will from everywhere and anywhere. His disappearance from the sight of the child Parakit does not mean that He appeared on the spot from any other place. He was present there, and even after His disappearance He was there, although invisible to the eyes of the child. This material covering of the effulgent firmament is also something like a womb of the mother nature, and we are all put into the womb by the Lord, the Father of all living beings. So he's saying this universe is compared to a womb. This material world is like a womb. And it's saying a firmament. I don't know if you've seen the Vedic description of the universe. Actually, it's similar to what all the ancient cultures say the description. At least like in the Bible, they have the firmament. They understand half of what the Vedic description is. The other half, they don't know what's underneath. But the Vedic gives a total, full, universal egg what it looks like. The modern scientists, NASA, and all these other corporations and things like that, for whatever reason, I don't know if they've gotten completely bewildered, but I speculate it's a more devious thing. But they have another explanation of what the universe looks like. But apparently we can't get any good quality photos of things, and all we can get is good CGI and things of their descriptions, which is quite speculative. And you can also see a lot of evidence of their so-called floating in space and things where pulleys and levers are being used, and then CGI is being used in their modern presentations and things, and you're just like, oh, okay, something's very fishy here. But anyway, the reason it's fishy is because there's a different description of what the universe is actually looking like. But anyway, it's compared to a womb. It's compared to the womb of a mother. And until you are, ready to take birth, there's sufficient, we chant, at birth you had promised Krishna to relish his bhajan. Actually, that's the process in the womb. The living entity has to actually beg for forgiveness for all of their thousands of lifetimes of sins that have put them in that position. And in that, then when they're finally, situated right by the Lord, then he says, all right, go take birth. Let's see you graduate from your convictions. But due to the karma, we get lost again. If we don't have good karma, we get crazy parents, and we get this, that, and the other thing. And next thing you know, they have us lost in the material world, and the whole material world just keeps going on like this. But if the Lord wants, he can appear and disappear by his will to anyone. But he what is he conquered by? What are we? By our love, by our sincere seeking of him. Even the seeking, even if we don't know how to love, just the wanting to establish the relationship. He's conquered by this, and He'll fulfill any desire. He gives everyone's desires. You imagine? The life that every single person of this world, they live is due to their desires. They desired so many of these things, and they got them. Every day they're desiring a sandwich and things, and the Lord is manifesting all of the proper ingredients so they can get their sandwiches, bologna and cheese and all these things. But those who have the most wonderful desires, they desire the Lord. And then He gives. Okay. But we have many desires. We want, good situations in relationships. We want good situations for children. We want good situations for money, wealth. I need a nice house. I need this. My gutters need to be fixed. I need to have nice gutters and things like this. All you guys have seen the gutters outside. Like this. These are the desires we want. But unless we desire the Lord, really. Not that we haven't really learned a sufficient amount of lessons yet. But maybe in this lifetime we can cultivate the desire for the Lord, and then He'll reciprocate. So Uttara desired the Lord, the Lord to save Maharaj Parakit, and then he came and appeared to Parakit.
I'm so glad you're calling him Parakit.
Yes. So I'm just happy I don't have to say Parakshit anymore. And that makes me feel much better. I actually was really turned off by that at first. Parakit? Oh, Mother Devaki Devidasi was giving us some pronunciations. And yes. So many says Parikshit, but actually Parikshit is not the proper Sanskrit. And they say Parakit is better actually.
Parikita, that is Parikita.
Yeah. Yeah.
Parikshit in Hindi.
Yes.
But Parikita is that
The Sanskrit.
in Indian language and in
Yes, yes. So Parikita.
Parikita.
Yes, maybe I'm pronouncing wrong. I'm definitely probably pronouncing most
Parikshita
things
in
wrong.
Hindi.
Yes. And so the same with Kamsa, it's actually Kangsa.
Kansa.
Yeah,
That is
Kangsa.
Kansa.
Yes. So whatever we say Kamsa. So anyway, these are things. I'm just trying not to. But I like this one especially because I don't want to call him Parikshit. Because in the English language, that final part of Parikshit is not so ideal. Yeah, so I'm just happy that I can call him this, Parikit. So anyway, Parikita, whatever we can do. So anyhow,
Narsimha.
yes, Narsimha, all these things. So, his disappearance from the sight of the child Parakit. Oh, did I read this? Yes, he can appear and disappear at his will from everywhere and anywhere. His disappearance from the sight of the child Parakit does not mean that he appeared on the spot from any other place. He was present there, and even after his disappearance he was there, although invisible to the eyes of the child. This material covering of the effulgent firmament... Oh, we read this. Just one more sentence. He is present everywhere, even in this material womb of Mother Durga. That's the... whose womb we're all in. And those who are deserving can see the Lord. So that's our whole process here. To become deserving to see the Lord. To become somebody who is avidly seeking to see the Lord and not trying to exploit the Lord. Most people they come to God for some type of exploitation. I'm worshiping you, God, because I want this, that, this, and you are my wish-fulfilling genie. So this is actually... this is what I was taught when I was a little kid, that that God will, if you want something in this world, God can make it happen. My dad had this intelligence where he knew that God can make things happen in your life. So I was, so I was like, wow, anything I desire, But then I learned actually that's why I lost faith in God, because I realized God wasn't such a wish fulfilling genie, and then He was, He would only give me certain things, and he would leave me bereft of many other things. Why? But I didn't really understand. I didn't have a really better explanation. So actually, that's why I lost faith for many years. I said, nope, he's definitely not a wish-fulfilling genie. My life sucks, and so on. But anyhow, those who are deserving, if they desire the Lord, they can see the Lord. This is the best thing. But it's not. To be deserving is not easy. It's not. It's a very unique. So many things have to happen in the living entity's life where they're actually seeking the Lord. right? In Bhagavad Gita, the 4 types of people. Distress, they have to be distressed. Or maybe they're needing financial resources. Maybe they're very curious. They would like to know the deeper mysteries of life or what's going on over here. Or the best one is they're pursuing the absolute truth. That's what Jesus recommends. The truth will set you free, you know. But ultimately, unless you're qualified in that way, no one's seeking the Lord. So if you're distressed, actually, you're fortunate. If you're in need of money, you're fortunate. If you, are curious to know what's going on in this material world, who am I? What's going on? Yes, you're fortunate if that question has arisen in you. And you're most fortunate if you're actually actively seeking what is the absolute truth. I have a set prescription of how I'm going to pursue the truth today. This is called sadhana bhakti. Every day you have a program. Like we have a program every day in which you're pursuing the truth. Right now, part of the program, we're going through the Bhagavatam. But that's what the whole process is, And then also you're chanting, Like there's a couple examples that are given in the Bhagavatam. Prabhupada says like a child calling for his mother. The 3 examples given in the Bhagavatam by the prayers of Vritrasura are a baby bird calling for its mother, for protection because they're realizing fear of danger. The calf also calling for his mother as well to get the milk. Not so much in fear, but just begging for its mother. And then the other description that's given is that this is for a good wife, but a wife calling for her long lost husband. So if a husband gets separated from the wife, she's always meditating on him, always thinking about him, always speaking about him to the kids and things like this. In Kali Yuga material nature, these type of wives are more and more rare. But they exist, these chaste, So these are the 3 given in the Bhagavatam. But we have to call for the Lord like that. Maybe in the beginning we're very fearful of the material world and we're calling for the Lord for protection. And then after that, maybe we're like the calves where we're just wanting the pleasure that the Lord gives. So we're calling in pleasure. And then, like that final verse, Ashlishava pararitampi nashtu mama darshanan marmatam karotiva yathatava vidadata lampato mat prananathas tu saeva napadaha. Let Krishna fasten me to his lotus feet. Let Krishna trample or go away from me. Let Krishna something like a man who cheats on his wife. Still only Krishna remains my life. In all circumstance, I just want Krishna. I'm just meditating. So when we chant, these actually are the moods that can potentially arise. But a lot of times when we chant, we're like, money. Where's the money? Hare Krishna, money. Hare Krishna, Krishna, chop, Hare Krishna, ooh, lady. We're chanting and we're thinking about all these things instead. So, over time, the sadhana is, this is the intelligent direction. I'm seeking the Lord. But you have to be qualified. Any other thing sneaking in there, diverting you, he gives, okay, no problem. You want this instead? No problem. I'll come to you in some lifetime. Probably maybe 10, 15 billion. I'll come.
84 you mean?
What's that?
84.
8,400,000 species. You could go through all of these. The devotee is actually protected from this. You don't have to fall back down. The devotee can get human births and keep making advancement. But still, the devotee might have to do millions of human births before they're fully refined, where all they want is the Lord. Because that's when you leave. When that's all you want is the spiritual, no other material attachment, all right, no need for material universe. But if you have some material attachment, all right, we have more coursework to do. Until you learn sufficiently, the material world is not to be chased. I have to take Meghna's parents to the bus station, so we'll end here. Thank you guys for joining. We have a wonderful vibrancy in the ashram now with the addition of Nitai Priya Devi Dasi and now Adya also. And now Tulsi Das and Parth Das are back. And Ben just took a step of surrender. He left the situation that was not so ideal for him so that he can be here more. So very excited about that. And Craig, you're one of our stalwarts. Thanks for coming. ask Madhav to give you the milk crates at some point. You don't have to go whenever, but just tell me just so I remember.
Yeah, I already thought about that. I'm trying to figure out a day I can do it.
Okay, you just let me know, and I'll let her know a day prior. So thank you guys for joining. Srimad Bhagavatam ki
Jai.
jai.
Sukadev ki.
Yeah, Shukadev Goswami ki jai.